Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mission Channel 33. I am Tatiana. I'm here to help solve more missing women, children, and men cases. I'm here to break the codes if I see any. I'm here to see where their bodies are located if they know. And I'm also here to see if they are alive, deceased, bodysuited, change your ethnicity or misidentity. You already should know who's involved, so let's begin. This is titled Gone Cold. Copperas, Cove's Elizabeth Campbell vanished 35 years ago. Okay? Look, a picture of her, okay? It's a story that's been unsolved for 35 years, but a few key pieces of information are giving police new leads about what may have happened to Elizabeth. The night Elizabeth Ann Campbell went missing on April the 25th, 1988 was the night Sam Soon Campbell's world became incomplete. I don't know what I did, but maybe God is punishing me, the 88-year-old mother said, tormented with not knowing what happened to her youngest daughter on this day 35 years ago. I miss her so much, every single day, 35 years, she said as she started to cry, placing her head in her hands. I think about why happened. Those are questions investigators haven't been able to answer throughout all these years. It's been painful, to be honest with you. I'm hearing no. With you just to see their pain. There's somebody else though. She could be missing too, said Lieutenant Kevin Miller with the Copperas Cove Police Department, CCPD. It's hard, and every time you spend time with them, you just want to make that pain go away. Despite all the years, Sam Soon said she would never quit looking for her daughter. I know there's a 50-50 chance she's not alive. I know that, Sam Soon said. Still, I have to try. Okay, this is Sam Soon. Okay. She was a pistol. Who was Elizabeth Campbell? Standing at 5'2" and weighing shy of 100 pounds, Elizabeth was a pistol. Just the cutest thing, Carol Ann Hone, Elizabeth's second oldest sister, said. God, she was pretty. Just beautiful long hair and just perfect, Home described. Born May the 31st, 1967, Elizabeth was the baby of the family, the youngest of 5 children to a military father, Tom Campbell Jr., who met his wife, Sam Soon, in Korea. Oh, she was the sweetest as can be. I couldn't be mad at her. You know, sometimes I'd be mad at her and she would kiss me until I wasn't mad. Sam Soon smiled as she tapped her cheeks with her fingers. She always touched her hair. She was always smoothing her hair. Holmes said she mimicked brushing her hair behind her ears. Elizabeth Campbell photos. Okay? This is Tom, Elizabeth, and Sam. Okay? Elizabeth was popular and had many friends, her mother said. She never got into trouble, greatly cared for and respected her elders, never smoked or drank, she added. She was also very close to her family. She fell in love with my babies, Holmes smiled. We used to joke that because I was getting a divorce, we were going to run off together and get an apartment. She's going to raise my kids for me. What many don't know is that Elizabeth was also an artist, her mother said proudly as she looked at one of her pieces that won an award back in 1982. It's now framed in the family kitchen. Elizabeth was also studious and ambitious towards her future. Prior to her disappearance, she was accepted into Texas A&M in College Station and was looking forward to starting in September 1988. Sam Soon said all she had to do was finish up her last semester at Central Texas College. These are her drawings, okay? Like she draw Bloody Mary ass, okay? Her name Elizabeth too, shit. Okay. April the 25th, 1988. It was a Monday night. Elizabeth just finished her shift at the 7-Eleven once located at Rancier Avenue in Killeen. She quickly gathered her things, a maroon purse and school books, and went straight to her boyfriend Ricky Ray's home to study for midterms. Though she had her 7-Eleven polo with her, Elizabeth was said to be wearing a white shirt, new blue jeans, white tennis shoes, and a dull lemon color vest-style jacket. A trend that was popular in the 80s when she got to Ray's home in Killeen, okay? These are items of the clothing, okay? While there that night, Elizabeth and Ray got into a heated argument over their studies, said Lieutenant Rick Counter with CCPD, okay? Elizabeth then made a decision that she was going to try to walk home in Lampreys following that argument. Yeah, basically they just making up shit. We ain't gonna lie. They is. Shit, they just getting little bits of shit that done already happened and putting together. Okay. AMC Gremlin counter said. From there, we know that he brought her to a 7-Eleven store here inside the city, counter said. At the 7-Eleven that was once located on U.S. Highway 190 and Martin Luther King Boulevard in Cove, Elizabeth made a call to her boyfriend from the store payphone. Ray's confirmed that he received that call, counter said. I think she asked him for a ride, but due to the time, he declined to come and pick her up. True. We got in kind of a little disagreement because I was asking her why she left my house without telling me. Ray said on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries in 1989, that kind of frustrated me a little bit. I didn't understand really why she would do something like this because it's not like her. Ray would later tell home that Elizabeth said she was going to call her brother, Tom Campbell III, for a ride instead. Turns out she never did. Instead, witnesses told police they saw Elizabeth get into a vehicle that was described to be either white or silver with a maroon van top. I didn't have a car like that. Counter said, this about me, y'all. That vehicle was then seen heading towards Killeen, he said. That night marked the last time Elizabeth's family or friends would see or hear from her. Okay, this is me attending a wedding in 1987. Okay. The day after Elizabeth went missing, it wasn't until the next morning when Holmes learned her sister was missing. She remembers how she was at home napping on the couch when Ray frantically burst through her door. He says, have you seen Elizabeth? She didn't get home last night, she recalled. Holmes said she was aware of the couple spat from the night before. Because Ray was close with her family, he told her about it while they were working together later that night. Some were going to move the Rich Master. He also informed her about Elizabeth's call from the 7-Eleven and how she told him she was going to ask her brother for a ride. Okay. We had heard that she had to be missing 72 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. There was inconsistency in how many hours had to go by before she looked for a person. She is hell. She said her sister being an adult at 20 years old also added to the confusion about the amount of time they waited. We didn't have any help, not really, Holmes said. My parents then jumped on it. I believe my parents had flyers out within 24 hours. Okay, cool. On police efforts. On April 26, 1988, the Lamprey Police Department filed a missing person report on Elizabeth Miller confirmed. Miller said the family then met with CCPD Chief and Sergeant on April 27, 1988, the day after she was officially reported missing. At the time, CCPD was assisting Lamprey's police, but at some point they became the lead agency in this case, he said. From there, the department started to backtrack the events, Counter said. We found a call from the dispatcher the night before that someone had reported seeing a juvenile female they described with long black hair, a basic description that would have been similar to Elizabeth walking eastbound on Highway 190 near Clark Road. Counter said, that's kind of the last piece of information we had at that point in time. Counter said they later got reports of possible sightings of Elizabeth in Waco and Garland, Texas. And then 7 years later, 1992, a person found her purse in Ozona, Counter said. Counter said the maroon purse was turned into the Crockett County Sheriff's Office in Ozona, Texas, which is about 230 miles away or roughly a 3.5-hour drive than Copperas Cove. A deputy who was cleaning out their property room happened upon it and found Elizabeth's ID card inside. When he ran it, it shows that she was reported as missing, so immediately the agency contacted us and they started working backwards trying to find who may have turned the purse in, Counter said. Unfortunately, the sheriff's office did not have documentation regarding who turned in the purse or when they did. They also didn't know which deputy took it and stored it in the property room, Counter said. The only thing they knew was that it was found at a gas station, Miller added. Since the purse had been in our possession, it had been sent to the laboratory for fingerprints, Counter said. There was no leads developed from the purse at all. Somebody has to know. Campbell family effort. Throughout the years, Sam Soon and her husband, Tom Campbell Jr., poured thousands upon thousands of dollars into trying to find their daughter. Oh, Lord. I'm going to pay it back. We had a couple houses where we sold that, Sam Soon said. We used to have quite a bit of cattle. We sold the cattle to go looking for her all over the United States. The Campbell family didn't just stop pushing their case on local television. They had Elizabeth's disappearance aired on America's Most Wanted in 1988, as well as Unsolved Mysteries in 1989, Samsoon said. Somebody has to know. We put it up so many places, Samsoon said. Okay? Yes, I'm paying that back. My bad, ma'am. Okay? See, people do this all. Hey, this is how some people are, though. I ain't gonna cap to you. A lot of people like that towards me. You know what I'm saying? They just give me. They just do stuff. Even if they have to die, they gonna do it. Okay, that's sad. But yeah, they made boxes upon boxes full of flyers, sending them out of police stations all over the country. They even sent flyers to places outside of the U.S., including Germany and Korea. Samsoon said. The flyers had recently photos of Elizabeth. They also include her physical description: 5'2", 97 pounds, long brown hair, brown eyes, as well as details on where she was last seen and what she was last seen wearing. The flyers also noted how their daughter had a scar on the top of her head. She had a scar on her shin, little scar here where she fell on the radiator. Holmes said she touched the bottom of her face. She then lifted her finger to her elbow, her eyebrow. Scar above her eye, she said. Samsoon said her family even traveled across the country and spent endless nights sleeping in the car on the side of the road or staying in motels because it's all they could afford. Despite all their efforts, however, I don't get my answers though. Samsoon said with tears in her eyes. In 2018, Tom Campbell Jr. died on June the 16th at the age of 83. We lost our dad and he died not knowing what happened to Elizabeth, Holmes said. When he ready to die, he was thinking about Elizabeth, Samsoon added, okay? That's them again. That's all the information they have of her. If you'd like to hear with this case, you can. I don't do it for the fame or the money. I do it because it's what I love to do. And to the real families of these victims, corporate America will set you up. Thank you, peace, and be safe.